Pre-patch just around the corner, and that means we got official pre-patch notes coming out from Blizzard today. We also are going to get into some of the changes, even more updates. We talked about a few of them yesterday. We got even more updates to the damage meters and the new nameplates that will be available once patch goes live. And of course, Legion Remix coming to an end. Let's talk about what that means. Here we go. Embrace the chaos in the final week of Legion Remix. That's right, guys. Remix is now ending, and if you log in between now and the end of Remix, you will get a feat of strength called Cloudy with a chance of Infernals. Everything else going on in the game in terms of Legion Remix has already been buffed out to the max. You can run around literally like a god, killing just about anything. The pretext to ending this thing is really just spend all of your bronze. Go around, spend all your bronze, get everything done. Your characters will all be transferred over to the regular retail servers the day that it all goes down on January 19th. Your character will be giving a 6,555 item level overall, which will convert down to a 102 after the squish. We'll talk about the squish here in a little bit. Given all of that, there are ways that you can earn some of the items or purchase some of the items that are currently available in Legion Remix even after it goes down. Those items will be the housing decor items, but they're going to cost you more. I mean, it's going to cost you Argonite and order resources. It's going to cost you quite a bit. You'll be able to go purchase these things in the old version of Dalaran and the Broken Isles, but honestly, just fucking buy them with bronze right now. If you really want them, the cost of them to get bronze really right now, to go out and get 5 minutes, you could probably gather enough bronze to buy a lot of this shit. But here's the list of the items that are going to still be available post the end of Legion Remix. It was fun. It was fun. I honestly enjoyed the whole thing. But we're moving on from Legion Remix. We're moving on from the War Within. We're moving on into Midnight. That's right. We got the official patch notes for Midnight. Blizzard dropped this thing, and it is extensive. I mean, look at this little scrolly bar. Look at how tiny it is. That's because there is actually so much coming with this patch. I think it's probably one of the most extensive pre-patches we may have ever seen. But let's talk about some of the things that we're getting here. I'm going to briefly go over a bunch of this here. But first off, obviously, Devour Demon Hunter. For those of you who thought Demon Hunters weren't emo enough, now you can be a Void Elf and a Void and basically Enchanted Demon Hunter. So run around as the emo you truly are. Transmog getting its changes, of course. We've talked about that extensively. Housing updates. Yes, Night Elf and Blood Elf housing-inspired houses are now going to be available. You'll be able to get all that stuff, as well as Endeavors kicking off. And we're actually going to watch something about Endeavors later today. User interface updates, of course. The damage meters are coming in. That's going to change things, obviously. Boss warnings. You're going to get your call-outs for bosses. Plenty of ways to customize the new call-outs for things, as well as kind of abilities that will be coming down the line. So a little ticker that tells you what ability is coming next. All of this stuff, by the way, happening retroactively as well. So yes, there will be boss warnings for all the Mana Forged Omega raid bosses once this patch goes live. Cooldown manager updates as well, and then tons of other things happening, including stat and item squishes. That's right, I talked about it just briefly a little bit ago, but everyone's item levels are going to be drastically reduced, as well as all the big numbers, the big dick numbers that you currently hit with. They're still going to be big dick relative to everybody else, kind of like the big in China mantra. It's just going to be everyone's a little bit smaller. That's about it. So all the numbers are going to be smaller, your health's going to be smaller, mana, resources, all that shit, and your item level, it's all getting squished down before we actually get into Midnight with this Midnight pre-patch. PvP training grounds will be available for those of you guys who are out there, don't want to play with real people, right? First off, you don't touch grass, you don't have friends, you don't want to interact with any other humans. Well, you can interact with these PvP training grounds, which is actually you versus other NPCs, just learning how to play PvP if you're not a PvP god like myself. The pre-expansion event, we mentioned it before, it is happening. Just another kind of world quest thing, run around, kill these things, loot these things, get this currency, buy these things. Just another kind of pre-patch event that we've seen before. Now classes, we already know interrupt durations being increased across the board, interrupts being changed quite a bit going into this expansion. And remember, healers will not be able to interrupt anymore, except for shamans with their totem. But besides that, no more interrupts. So it's going to be up to you guys out there, you non-healers, to actually get interrupts off in Raid and Mythic Plus. Also, class changes, tons of shit happening. I mean, I could scroll through this, and we can just sit here and read for the next 15 hours if you guys want. But I'm going to link this in the chat and down below the video. But your class is not going to play the way it currently plays once this patch goes live. So many changes happening to everybody's classes. There's going to be a week where we just learn how to play our classes once pre-patch goes live before the actual pre-patch event kicks off. That's how extensive these changes are going to be. Mega, thank you so much for the follow, man. Welcome to our Scourge. So, yeah, learning how to play your cast is going to be a bit of a learning curve that first week when this shit goes live. Found you through YouTube, and I've gotten to see your stream. What's up, Mega Man? Welcome in. Thank you so much for that follow. Dungeons. Guys, we got dungeons and raids. All these changes happening across the board. Because of the stat squishes, we're going to lose some of the bonuses we currently have and everything. So everything's kind of getting nerfed across the board, both in dungeons and in raid. So everything's going to be hitting a little bit less hard. The Mana Forged Omega raid, a lot of nerfs across the board for a lot of the bosses. And, of course, the implementation of all the changes that I just talked about when it comes to, like, boss call-outs, the little thing ticker that tells you what ability is coming next. As I said before, all of that's retroactive. So you can actually go into this raid and see how all that stuff's working. Midnight Hype, yeah, it's real. Housing, I just mentioned some of the housing changes that are happening, a couple issue fixes and stuff like that. Items, PvP, we got Battleground Blitz going live, a bunch of other changes to classes and things for PvP. User interface and accessibility. So, guys, add-ons are going to be gone. That's right. So let's talk a little bit about this. New interface, journeys, engage with World of Warcraft content in a meaningful way thanks to a brand new feature tab in the adventure guide called Journeys, with significant updates to how you track your in-game progress with Renown, Delves, Prey, and the Great Vault. Delves tab has been removed from the Group Finder panel. Players can now configure the Delve companion through the Delve section of Journeys. So this is kind of a lesser-known feature here that's actually coming. I actually didn't even know about this. So there you go. Journeys, another feature that we'll have. New accessibility combat audio alerts. So many different custom audio alerts that you'll be able to kind of configure, choose from different audio callouts, what you want called out and all that. So that's a nice thing. Nameplate improvements, as we mentioned before, raid frame updates, and add-on interface changes. So a wide range of add-ons will no longer work in the game once this thing hits. If your add-on that you currently use doesn't get an update to make it compatible with Midnight, it will no longer be usable. And by compatible with Midnight, I mean it can't really help you in combat anymore. So any of these add-ons that you've used typically to do things in combat, help you through combat, call things out, those will no longer work. The age of add-ons potentially coming to an end. We'll see. Text-to-speech updates, pre-made group finder updates, including the ability to now list playstyles. You'll be able to list whether you're a learning group, a fun and relaxed group, fun and serious group. Oh, don't take things too seriously. And experts only. That's right, for the elitists out there. Now, of course, I'm an expert, but I'm never going to put experts only. As a man of the people, I'm here to help the people, to carry the people, to get the people to what they need, right? So even though I am an expert, I will never only take experts. You guys know that. You guys know I play this game. External defensives and new buff trackers, also located in the combat section of edit mode now. Some other things happening here. And basically, guys, that is it. I mean, pages and pages of patch notes. Again, I'm going to link this in the chat and down below the video if you guys want to check out some of the shit that's happening to your own classes, because the class changes are extensive. Besides that, patch going live means a new Twitch drop. That's right, and we're actually getting the first decor Twitch drop. Guys, a decor-related Twitch drop is happening. Have you ever wanted a little Murloc on your shelf in your little player house? Well, now you can get the Cuddly Green Gurgle. Cuddly Green Gurgle, just for watching 4 hours of this shitty stream or any other WoW stream starting on January 20th. Make sure you link your account and everything, go through this shit. It's just a typical watch 4 hours, get the item thing. But there it is. Yes, the first housing decor item. Can't wait, I watch it anyways. That's right. Moving on to some of the changes happening with these add-on killer interface options that are coming into the game, and more keeps coming out. Blizzard's literally updating these things daily now at this point because it's just around the corner. But damage meter death recap has now been integrated into the damage meter. So yes, just yesterday I talked about how Blizzard added in the deaths, ticker thing in the damage meter. We know you can see what time the person died in the fight, basically. Somebody dies 3 seconds in for standing in the flames, you're kicking their ass out of the group. Well, now, if you click on the death itself, it'll bring up a death recap, and the death recap itself is improved now. So it'll show kind of the damage that happened over time, the abilities that hit you, the crits in bigger numbers, and actually if you click the tombstone, it'll give you an exact time of death and everything. everything. So they've integrated the death recap into the damage meter that they're putting into the game. So I think that's a nice feature. Some things that people say are still missing from death recaps. Death recaps do not give any information regarding defensives utilized during that, healing potions, etc. The death window for the damage meter removes general in-combat timers. Outside of the larger display numbers, there is no telling if spells critically hit the player. I think the larger number is more than enough to tell if it was a crit, but I guess people want more. While hovering over spells provides a timestamp of when the damage was taken, there is no immediate display of the recap, and then no options to publicly share the death recap with your party chat or instance chat. So I'm sure these things will get added in. Blizzard keeps changing this stuff up and adding more and more based on feedback. So another nice change to the damage meters. And finally, our nameplates, right? The nameplate update happening. Yeah, that's good. I agree, Mo. The updates happening to nameplate, basically removal of the need for add-ons when it comes to plates. This is a big change, something that I think this should have been in the game a long time ago. But they've been updated once again with new features. So here we go. Outside of the looks, you can still update, by the way, the looks of these things with add-ons, and I'll tell you which add-ons are still working specifically to kind of change the aesthetic of these things. No functionality really added, but you can change kind of the look of them. So new nameplate features here. We got 6 different styles of nameplates to choose from. Glow effects and important spells for important spells that are being casted on you. Detailed options for displaying the health of the NPC. Aggro display options for all roles, and new CC field added for stuns, stops, etc. As I said before, you know, the customization of these things still really isn't there when it comes to comparing them to what add-ons had. But good news is the Plater and Platinator will still be available to be downloaded. Both of these will be updated so they can be used in Midnight. Now make sure you update these add-ons. The old version of them will not be usable on Midnight because those things actually have some combat features that will no longer be available in the game for add-ons to use. But in terms of customizing the look and feel of them, you'll be able to do that. So if you like the look of Plater and what it offers you in terms of customization, or the Platinator, you'll still be able to use those add-ons. If you have profiles linked to these things, there are some features maybe in those profiles that will no longer work, so you might have to redo those profiles. But yeah, Platinator, I've never used that one. I've always used Plater. But still using these to fix up your look, spruce it up, make it kind of feel the way you've always looked at it. Will be available, at least with these 2 add-ons. Other plate-related add-ons probably won't work anymore. But we're heading that way, guys. Midnight, just around the corner. Excited. This patch really does kick off the next expansion. It's extensive. There's a lot going on. But you can always find the Samiccus YouTube videos talking about the news to figure out what there is happening in and outs of the world of Warcraft. But for today, that is all in terms of news.